Hello, 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 my friends. How are you all doing today? Just kind of doing impromptu Ask Me Anything. So I'll be on for a little bit. If you guys have any questions, want to talk about anything, let me know in the comments. I know we just had like a live stream, and sometimes it's hard to get across everything everyone wants to talk about in a 4-person stream. So I wanted to just take an opportunity to talk to you guys. Hello, Michael Barnes. How are you doing, man? Oh, Jay says, love how you're dropping live on Kay's vid about to release. I totally didn't plan on doing that. I just had some free time and I wanted to test out kind of streaming a little bit more. Rob, you sold all your OMI, man? Oh, okay. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, I don't think you should sell your OMI. I mean, there's not, when you think about Comic-Con, that was a little bit disappointing, right? You know, we had a lot of thoughts that maybe Comic-Con would take us places price-wise. It would be this grand reception to the masses, and it didn't end up happening. But really, it's not too big of a deal, I don't think. Omi Queen says, "Hi Dan, did the Comic-Con flop make you any less bullish?" No, not really. Really, I just think it's kind of a blip in the radar. It would have been really nice to see, an introduction to VV to the masses. Had some big adoption. We didn't see that, but I don't think it's a big deal, really. Omar says, "How do you think on the NFTs that are dumping in the market, and can Dirty Dan talk about this?" Dirty Dan can't talk about this. I'm not too really familiar with the NFT side of things in terms of VV. So I'm not a really good person to really address this, but I will say I think the NFT market right now in terms of VV seems a little bit overpriced. So it's natural to see a little bit of price moving to the downside. I think that's healthy. Long term, if we want these collectibles to be worth a lot of money in the future, I think we should see some downside a little bit before we go back up. How much OMI do you want to have before year end? I haven't really talked about my portfolio that much, but ultimately, I think if I got about 10 million OMI, I would be pretty happy. I'm actually the best way to kind of get that is to buy it at a pretty low price. I really should have done it at the 0.0011 level, or even 15, right? 15, 20 is good too, but I'm going to try to make a purchase right around that point. Rob Stone says, probably going to buy more OMI if it drops. Might sell my Polygon for. Are you up on Polygon? I mean, part of the reason I can't sell my other crypto is because all of it's down with the broader market. So I generally don't want to sell something that's down to buy something. I don't have that mentality. All right, how low will we go? Says Dennis Lee. I think I might have seen you on the stream, or maybe it was a comment on one of my videos. Right now, I'm predicting it could go down to 0.0021. But I wouldn't be surprised if it went lower. I secretly am hoping it goes just a little bit lower because, I mean, I can get just so much more OMI, right? I mean, recently we had a OMI price at about 0.0045. If I get it at 15, I mean, I can get like triple the OMI, right, for the price. So that'd be good. Jay says, we know you work in healthcare. What do you do? Good question. I'm a nurse practitioner, so I work in healthcare. A nurse practitioner is a registered nurse that's received kind of some advanced training. They can diagnose disease, prescribe medications, order tests. So I work in an urgent care, kind of a minor emergency type center. So we see anything from cough, cold, flu to broken bones, deep cuts, deep lacerations, things like that. It's pretty exciting. Jesse Knox, love your channel, man. What are your thoughts on the VV community? As awesome as we are, basically deems anything remotely critical of VV as being FUD as opposed to just critical thought. Yeah, I think that's true. It's really, let me take a sip here. It's really how the question is phrased. I think so many of us YouTubers, like we talk a little bit, and so much of these questions are phrased in such a negative light. Like if they say something like, Comic-Con was a flop, OMI token is a scam. I mean, when I hear stuff like that, I just think you're trying to troll me or you're trying to get a rise out of me. I don't think that's honest discourse. But when people bring it up in a reasonable manner, like some of my viewers, they do bring up questions. I really try my best to answer it, and I don't consider it FUD. Just because it's negative doesn't mean it's FUD. If you just say something like, I don't know if you guys remember this FUD, but remember when some people thought that a lot of these YouTubers were getting paid by OMI to pump the token? That's definitely not true. That's total FUD and BS there. So, I mean, I welcome negative comments. I mean, and I understand where people are coming from. Like if you bought at the 1 cent level and you're where you are now, I mean, I would be mad too, in a sense, but it doesn't change anything I feel long-term about the token. I still think we can 100x from here. I really do. Did you get anything from the Comic-Con days? No, I honestly, I didn't like any of those collectibles, and I'm really particular with my tastes. There's a few things I really like, and everything else, if I don't like it, I won't buy it. So, you know, Marty's hoverboard, that was the first collectible that I actually purchased. I thought it was really cool. Love Back to the Future. I thought that was a really nifty collectible there. So I'm really holding off for like Star Trek. If I can get like a USS Enterprise, I think that would be really cool. So I'm holding out for things I really, truly enjoy. Rob Stone says, my friend has 100 mil plus OMI and all the collectibles. He's wild AF. That's a lot of OMI. I mean, golly. Who's your friend, Rob? Oh, the real Randy Chavez. I really like Randy. Randy's a really cool guy. You need to check out his channel. I would love to have you back on, man. We should definitely arrange that sometime when our schedules allow. But keep doing what you're doing. I love your content. Okay. Rick Relax says, do you think OMI can hit 10 cents if all of a sudden 50 billion OMIs get burned? Hey, I saw your comment on one of my videos. I kind of don't understand kind of where you're coming from. You know, it matters why, right? If they say something like if you remember some of my old videos, I mentioned how maybe we could have like a reverse split, and people were getting a little upset about that, but it's based off what they were saying during one of the AMAs. So if it was something like that, like, hey, we don't need 50 billion OMI, so we're just going to get rid of it, I would expect the price to at least triple. But if it's positive news, if it's tied to some positive news like that, I mean, I can see us hitting maybe, I don't know, it's really hard to say, but I still think 5 cents pretty quickly is pretty reasonable, but 10 cents is possible. I just don't think it's going to happen in 2021. It could happen in the future, but I think if that happens, it's going to be tied to something else. Like maybe they burn a lot of OMI with land purchases. Decentraland has done that. I'm hoping that could be a massive burn event. So I think they're not going to just do it arbitrarily. I think they're going to tie it to something like land purchases or something like that. So hard to answer that question, man. All right. 0.0045. Go. You know, I'm happy either way. I'm happy if it goes to 0.0045. I'm happy if it goes down to 11, you know, 0.0011. Thanks, man. Let me see if I know you. No, okay. A lot of wins out there, I'm sure. Jesse Knox speaking truth here. John Doe says you take sips like my grandma. You know, I had a comment the other day, a few weeks ago, that he said that I talk like an old person. So when you have a YouTube channel, you kind of have to take these things with like a little grain of salt. You have to expect a little negativity like that. But here, I'll do this just for you, man. You hear that? I'm going to savor it. Are you excited for VV on their big move in August? Yes. I do think that's going to be big for us. It's really going to set us up in the future. So I'm very excited about that. I responded to a couple people in my latest video comment, but I do predict that there's going to be some confusion. I think no matter how simple Ecomi VV makes this migration, I think there's some people that are just going to be really confused. And excuse me, rightfully so. I think even buying OMI can be confusing. I mean, buying OMI on Bitforex is kind of confusing. So I anticipate this to be equally confusing. I think there's a chance it could lower the price. But I'm optimistic. I think Ecomi will do a very good job. So I think if there is a little bit of confusion, it won't be that much confusion. Dale, thank you for the donation. Your intros are fire. Hey, thanks, man. Some people hate them. Some people think they're really cringy. So I don't know. I try, but they're not all winners, right? You can't have a whole bunch of winners, but I try. I think it keeps it fun. Is OMI actually backed by any other crypto? For example, did they have any fixed pair with BTC or ETH when it was launched? On Bitforex, I think you can only buy it with Tether, but I first made some purchases on Gate.io, and I remember there was a Ethereum pair. I don't think there was a Bitcoin pair. I don't think so, but I think there's definitely an Ethereum pair out there, and I think it's on Gate. I chose the 50 billion reference number because it's very realistic that their price of OMI stays below 0.0035 for the next 12 months, combined with VV selling out the next 100 drops. Are you talking like Burns? Like Burns? I'm assuming that's what you mean, but maybe you can clarify for me here. You see collectibles as actually collecting and not value increase, right? Yeah. I think there will come a day when flippers won't really be around. I think there will come a point when there's a lot of users, but also an equal amount of content available. And I think when that happens, I don't think there'll be crazy flippers, except maybe on things like secret rares or maybe some ultra rares. I don't think it'll be like what it is today, but I could be wrong. And like I said before, I'm not big on the collectible flipping side of things. I think that's neat, but I was never really savvy with those kind of things. So I just buy things I like. I think that's a healthy approach. Really enjoy your stream. Hey, thanks, man. Randy, I'm in. Great, man. Seen some chatter on Twitter that OMI is about to be listed on 2 major exchanges. Heard anything about this? I really haven't, and I'm not sure. Taps and HelloK, I don't think they know about it either. If they did, they didn't tell me. But someone like HelloK would probably know more than me. And we talk, we talk to set these things up. So I haven't heard anything about that, man, honestly. I mean, I would love for you to link it over here. I can take a look if you would like. I don't think we're going to get exchanges until after Immutable. I don't believe it makes sense to, hey, let's have another exchange or two here. And oh, by the way, now you have to migrate those tokens over. I don't think that makes sense at all. I think it makes sense to wait until it's on the ERC20, then release multiple exchanges that support ERC20. I think it's more of a cluster if they throw in an exchange and then throw in Immutable. So that's just some thoughts here. You always ask the great questions, man. Would you sell at the entry point and wait till it falls again to accumulate more? So there is a strategy that you can do where, and I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a tax guy, and it depends on your tax code, but you can basically let's say you buy something, right? Buy a like crypto, and then it goes down. You could sell it and rebuy at that price, and then you can claim a loss. And then as that value goes back up, presumably it goes back up, you can use those losses against some of your profits. So it's, if you're very sophisticated like that and kind of know what you're doing, you can probably harvest these losses while also taking advantage of the upside. That's not something I do. I think that's too complicated. I'm busy with my professional life. I'm busy with YouTube, busy with my family. So that's not something I'm really interested in doing. And I don't have enough money in crypto to really feel like I could make that work, right? Jesse, I listen to every AMA from the team. We're getting 3 to 5 exchanges, but that'll happen when we move to Immutable, which is slotted to be end of July, end of August. Yeah, that's true. That's from Dan Crowther's mouth. And it seemed like when Dan was saying that, it seemed like he meant like later this year, like towards the end of the year, quarter 3, quarter 4. And Hello K actually believes that we could see an Immutable migration a little bit later. He is kind of a little bit bearish in that regard. And I think September would be fine too, but we'll see. I watched some of his videos, Leisure. He puts out a lot, and my wife doesn't like the sound of his voice, so I'm kind of limited in times I can watch his content. But I usually watch a lot of his videos. I liked his Bitcoin, or not his Bitcoin, his blockchain whisperer content recently. I thought that was very interesting, something no one else was doing. So props to him. That was good content, I think. Love your channel. Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Choo Choo, you have the best intros. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that. Not many people do intros, which I think that's a lost opportunity. I think keeping it light, keeping it fun can be a good thing, right? We're a community, but to each their own. Troy says, "Oh, is that your family there? You got some cute little children there. Cool. Hey, Dan, can you talk about Theta versus Ecomi? What are the risks to our project?" I don't know much about Theta, man. I don't. There's a lot of projects out there. It's hard to keep track of them all. I really can't talk to you about that. Hey, it's negative. I was just teasing. No, I'm not a bully or anything like that. Enjoy your video. Yeah, I got you, Joe. Thanks, man. Do you think OMI tokens will completely replace gems to where you will solely be there collectibles with OMI? No. And the reason I think that is gems, I'm sure you know this, but gems are essentially OMI in disguise. It's like a stable coin for OMI. One thing I like about Vivi, it's a future mainstream product. It's going to be catered to the masses, just like how Apple iPhones are a mainstream product. I think Vivi will be a mainstream product. So you want to keep it simple for all those mainstream people out there. Not everyone is a crypto investor or even wants to get involved in that kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't think gems will ever go away. I think that would be a big mistake. I think that's one of the allures of Vivi, is that they can keep it simple for people who want to keep it simple. All right. Noah, no BTC pair, only ETH and USDT. Good. We answered that. Do you think Facebook Metaverse plans are bad news for Vivi? No. I think Metaverse is essentially the way of the future. And there's enough slices of the pie for everyone. I really think of metaverses as being kind of like the early stage of the internet and kind of a natural progression, right? The internet was kind of, I don't know if you how old you were, but the internet obviously was a big deal, but people didn't think it was a big deal when it was first opening up. But now it's the backbone for our society. But social media was a natural evolution of the internet, but in a sense, social media has kind of made us a little bit more distant. That's kind of paradoxical, right? You would think that social media keeps us more connected, but in a sense it does. But on the other sense, we lose a lot of the most important interactions we have with people, right? Really important moments. And I think the metaverse is a natural solution to that, because you'll be able to interact with people almost in real life. Eventually, we're going to get VR headsets. Eventually, that's going to be as standard as a mobile phone. And I think that's going to be a great thing. There's some articles that people were talking about Facebook back in the day, how Facebook was making people depressed. It was making people want to, kill themselves. But I think the metaverse will be a natural solution to that. I think it will bring us closer instead of keeping us further apart. So, long-winded answer there. If you think buying OMI via Bit4X is confusing, you don't want to know what I got to go through using GoChain. It is confusing. That's partly why I want to see OMI on Coinbase, because it's so easy. It's tied to your bank account. And a lot of these exchanges, they don't accept fiat because if they don't accept fiat, they don't have to follow a lot of regulations. And that's good for them, but it's hard for us because we have to do multiple transfers. We lose a little bit of our money when we do these transfers, right? So anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but Bit4X is confusing, but it takes time to figure out. Pokemon Academy, what's up? It's the homie Dan giving us knowledge, trying to keep it light. Bought at the all-time high. I could buy so much more. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but also it's a blessing in disguise. It's a great time to dollar cost average, I buy collectibles as an investment, been in the community since end of March, but I only have 7 collectibles, 5 of which are sub 100s. These are purely investments. I think they can be investments. I think they have to be rare or higher and low mint. And it's got to be something that people really, really want. So I think that can be investments. I mean, collectibles in real life, some of them are investments. So I think there's always going to be a place for flippers and investors, but I think in general, it won't be a great way to make money going forward. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure a lot of people out there won't agree with that. Cryptomaniac, man, how's it going? Hey, we should get together sometime. Maybe do like a live stream. I know you do live streams with Orange Bag Lady and I forgot the other guy's name, but hey, Daniel, don't believe exchange news. It's from Indicalia. His Twitter is kind of interesting. He has these supposed OMI Akomi inside scoop news type stuff, but then he talks a lot about like football and stuff. I just think it's kind of an odd combination. Nicholas says, beware of a wash sale. You can't buy back until after 30 days. So like I said, I'm not a financial advisor or tax guy, so definitely consult your tax specialist. But from what I understand, wash sales only apply to stocks. It doesn't apply to crypto because they're considered commodities. So from what I understand, I'm not giving you advice, but from what I understand, I don't think wash sales apply. So someday they'll probably close that loophole, but until then, if you know what you're doing, you could actually really build up some losses. So, Brian, hey man, may I ask what you do for a living? I said it before already, but I can say it again. I'm a healthcare provider. I'm a nurse practitioner, so a registered nurse that's received some graduate level education. They are able to diagnose and treat disease. It's a pretty good living. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now with that. You can't buy back right back. Okay. Jay says, I thought there was a rule around that. I've kind of really talked about it. Like I said, double check. But I saw it on a Forbes article, or was it? I'm pretty sure it was a Forbes article that I was reading about it recently. But like I said, do your own due diligence there. I'm sure it only applies to stocks. Okay. What are your thoughts about certain licenses that can't leave out of VV when the exchange happens to immutable? Do you think this would impact some of the collectibles to Moon? Yeah, I definitely believe that if you can't move your NFT, your collectible, you don't really own it. And I think that's going to affect price. Now, I think if these companies, these licensors were wise, they're going to want to have as much interoperability as possible. It'll increase its value. I also think that when gamification happens, you definitely want some. I'm really hoping these licensors give Vivi some leeway in order to really do some amazing things. I don't know if you guys talked or heard about Axie Infinity. It's basically a crypto game, and it's basically like a Pokemon based game where you can raise monsters, you can use tokens to kind of evolve them. I think if Pokemon did that and it was official, that would be huge for them. And I think it's a missed opportunity if they don't allow that, or if they don't allow interoperability. I think it's a missed opportunity, but we'll see. We don't technically even know truly if Pokemon is on the books, but that's kind of an open secret that we will get that eventually. OMI price and year's price. Well, my prediction is $1 OMI within 5 years. And I preface that by saying there could be a range, 25 to 75 cents. I think if it hits $1, it'll go back down and consolidate at a lower level. But I think an all-time high of $1 is very possible. Amy, ditto, best intros. Thanks, Amy. Appreciate that. Okay, I got a lot of comments here. I'm trying to get through them as fast as I can. Based on average daily volume of 4.5 million, that equates to approximately 1.5 million OMIs moving companies per day at the current price. So you're talking about like burn and stuff like that. Burn affects the reserve wallet. So I'm sure you know this, but kind of a closed wallet, right? So what really concerns us is the buybacks. That's what's really going to affect price. So, I mean, buybacks is technically 10%. It's 7% when you count the fees. When you realize how much OMI there is in the reserve wallet, and the fact that OMI token is designed to go up in price, otherwise we would run out of OMI tokens. Don't know where I'm going with that, but basically buybacks play a small but important role in providing positive price pressure. So I think buybacks are nice, but they're not the whole pie. It's not the biggest thing that's driving OMI price to where it's going to be. Ryan says, hey, Dan, can you talk about why we have not been notified yet which NFTs will be open sourced and which won't? The ones that won't represent what an NFT is, and a lot of money is being spent on them. Yeah, I think it's because we don't even have interoperability yet. That's we need to get the immutable migration. We need to, they have that partnership with OpenSea, so I think it's coming. But some licensors, for whatever reason, probably won't allow that. So I don't think it's really in VV's hands. I think it's the licensors. I don't think we'll ever get that information just yet. So, Christian, hi Dan, love your channel. How much OMI you have? Will you add more on this dip? Any other project you recommend or invested? So I don't talk about my portfolio just yet. I am a little bit concerned about security, so I don't feel comfortable. What I will say is it's under 10 million OMI, and 10 million OMI is my goal. I will buy more during this dip. I actually bought at the 0.0030 level. I'll just tell you guys this, but I am hoping we get to like the teens. That would be a great buying opportunity for me. I'd be happy if it hit, 15, 0.0015 level. I would definitely buy more then. I don't recommend any other projects. I will say I am invested in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, XLM or Lumens, and OMI. Smash that like button, gang. Yep, thank you. Definitely do that. It does help with the algorithm. It gets me more exposure, so it definitely helps me out quite a bit. So if you want to help me out, just hit that like button. Much appreciated. Rick, so most definitely there are some whales manipulating the price. I mean, there's people with a lot of OMI where if they make sales or purchases, it definitely affects the price. There's that. Whether there's malicious intent, I don't know if we can talk about that too much. We don't really know. Everyone talks about like Ben. I mean, I guess that's a possibility, but I don't think it matters who it is. It's just that we know that there's some big whales out there. They can definitely influence the price. That's one of the fundamental problems with OMI right now. It's so dependent. Price action can be so dependent on what the whales do. Someday that won't matter, but we might have that problem for a long time. I mean, when you look at Dogecoin, they have a very similar problem. There's some people with massive amounts of Dogecoin. If they did dump, it's going to be a bad time for a lot of the small guys like us, like the common man. So there's definitely people. What I will say is there are definitely people with a lot of money, with a lot of OMI, that can influence the price quite drastically. Hey, thanks, man. Good to see you live. I appreciate that. Yeah, I want to do more streams. I mean, I want to make the stream fun, so I wish I could add things like sounds and make it more exciting for you guys. I'm still working on that, so I'm hoping every stream we do will be better and better and better because I really enjoy taking questions from the audience. I think it's a lot of fun, man. Why is OMI doesn't move when they burn tokens? Sounds like a scam. Well, when they burn tokens, it's really so every purchase, like let's say you buy $100 of a collectible with gems. So $100 is burned from the reserve wallet. Now the reserve wallet and all its components, it's essentially about 450 billion OMI. That never enters circulation. So all these burns affects that. What really influences price is the circulating supply. So that's just pure and simple supply and demand. So burns don't affect that. There are buybacks associated with it, but that's just a small factor that puts a small amount of positive pressure on the price. So that's why it doesn't really, the amount of burns kind of, in a sense right now, I don't want to say it doesn't matter. It does matter a little bit, but it doesn't matter that much. Let's just put it that way. Greetings from Mexico. Yeah, I know I realize that there's some Hispanic or Spanish speakers out there, and I wish I could get some closed captions for you. I think essentially Crypto, his wife is a Spanish speaker, and she does a lot of good content related to which is related to OMI. So I feel bad sometimes that I'm not able or I can't figure out how to get some closed captions for you guys in other languages. Someone also mentioned, the possibility of getting it in German. I don't know how to do that. If you want to leave a comment down below, letting me know how I can do that pretty easily and maybe even cheaply, let me know, because I would love to open the floodgates to everyone. The more people get involved in this thing, the more the price is gonna shoot up there. So your wife doesn't like Cavilla's voice. I hope he's not watching this. I don't want to hurt his feelings or make him feel bad. I love his content. He was one of the first people I watched, and I watched so many of his videos. I even watch all the ads for him just to support him sometimes. But I guess she doesn't like his voice. I don't know what to tell you. I think his voice is fine, if that matters at all. Did you see Cavell's last video covering the big crypto trader seemingly having someone on the team relaying certain information to him, making it seem like it's not the best idea to invest in OMI? Yeah, I did. And I think that insider it's just basically BS, right? Reese actually on a Twitter post recently just posted that he's wondering where all these leaks are coming from. it's not coming from the team. I mean, the team is so, I mean, okay, it's possible, but I think it's hard to believe that some investor or scammer or whatever you want to call that person somehow has the inside scoop is a little bit ridiculous. To me, it's easier just to lie about it and say that. I mean, I didn't see anything valid coming from blockchain whisperers, but I don't know. Maybe he does. I just said it. I got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Lumens, and OMI. Can you give a price update for end of year? Yeah, my official price prediction is 2 to 5 cents by the end of the year. I have also modified that somewhat by saying if we don't hit 1 cent by October, it's going to be very hard to hit 5 cents. And I base that basically on how the price moves. Like when you think about it, we were sitting at about 0.0020 or so when the Marvel news was released, and that shot the token to 0.0045. So Marvel is a big piece of news, and it kind of, it went up almost 100%, depending on where you're looking at it from. So in order to hit 5 cents, you got to think how many big catalysts has to happen before it can get there, right? I mean, we do have a lot on the roadmap, but quite a few things need to happen, and they need to happen somewhat quickly to keep that positive momentum. So I think we need a lot of positive news, which we will have, but we also have to have momentum that keeps going, that keeps people wanting to buy. And I think an important thing with that is we need to see Bitcoin also do well. Ethereum also needs to do well because of the because of the trading pairs. So that has to happen as well. So another thing of the broader economy, I would imagine it has to do well too. We either need to get more stimulus money to the people so they can potentially put some of that extra money into crypto. That's not financial advice. Or the economy needs to be booming. And with the whole illness situation, I work in healthcare, and I'm kind of boots on the ground there. And we're probably going to see a resurrection of a lot of what we saw before. And I want to be careful of how I phrase it so I don't get banned by YouTube. But we're seeing a lot of cases at the ground level. Even people, well, let's just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that there. So I'm hoping the economy goes strong to the end of the year. I think we need it. But who knows, right? Who knows? I'm in a trade right now for my cousin. He doesn't want to deal with the process of buying OMI, but really wants to own 1.5 million OMI. Good thing he has family. Yep. And why does he want to do that? Because it's hard to buy OMI, so he needs to use you, I would imagine. But I think if you have 1 million OMI, I think that's a great price target, even if it never hits $1, right? Even if it never hits $1, but even if it hits 5 cents, 10 cents, that's still a great return. I mean, compared to the stock market, I mean, you got to be content with not hitting $1. How will you secure your OMI once it goes to immutable? I feel somewhat uneasy having it on Trust Wallet. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of my OMI on Trust Wallet, but there's a couple ways you can do it. And I think having it over separate sources is a good idea. Maybe you can get a hard wallet. That's one option. Maybe you can keep some on the exchange, some on Trust Wallet. You can actually keep it on the VV app. I don't know how secure that is, but I would spread it out a little bit. So my strategy was that with that is like, let's say you get hacked. Well, at least you have more OMI in other places. I think that's smart to keep it in at least 2 other places, Indy Cali is the worst football account, not reliable, makes up random news. Same with OMI. Yeah, it's good to know that side because I know his OMI news is crap. But I always wondered about his football news because I'm not much of a football fan. So it's good to hear that from somebody there. Someone called you a PA. Crystal says, someone called you a PA. People always get us mixed up. NP. Are you an NP? Oh, look at that. Nurse practitioner. Represent. Yeah, it's hard because we essentially apply for the same job. So it's easy to see us as interchangeable, but our training is really drastically different. Actually, my wife is a PA. And I'm a nurse practitioner, so we have training differences. She is trained more in the medical model. I'm trained more in the nursing model. It doesn't really matter too much in terms of the training. I think they're very similar, but they're also different there. Wes is the biggest troll on my channel. Oh my gosh, 30-year price prediction. I'm not even going to answer that, Wes. Not even going to answer. Wes, one thing about you I've noticed, if it's Randy Chavez or it's Cavell, you write the nicest comments to them, and then you troll me so hard, man. So hard. But it's glad to have you. Glad to have you. I think there should be transparency. I think transparency is good. I just don't think we really know yet. I'm not even sure if the licensors know or Vivi knows. So that's part of it too. Okay. Great videos. Love your hustle. Yeah, I try to I noticed that when I produce a lot of videos, my quality seems to go down, and my work-life balance is also thrown off a little bit. So I definitely want to do at least 2 or 3 videos a week, but I want the quality to be high as well. I don't want to put out just junk content. So I try, man. Thank you, Dennis, for the donation, $4.99. Thank you very much. On the subject of NFTs, have you heard of MetaHero, and what are your thoughts on 3D scanning avatars and other 3D objects in an NFT space? Honestly, I'm sorry you wasted your money there. I don't really know, man. I don't know of MetaHero, and I'm not an NFT or I guess metaverse type expert. I think Taps would probably know a little bit more about that. So I really can't answer that for you, man. I'm sorry. Dirty Dan has kept the OMI away from Daniel. I'm actually getting my characters confused, which is kind of funny. Who do you think Dirty Dan is? Is Dirty Dan the guy with the hat? I think he is. Yeah, I think so. Of all the upcoming OMI VV changes, Immutable, Gem, Fiat, VVverse, PC Mac compatibility, which do you think will have the biggest price impact for OMI? And do you think it will hurt or help VV NFT prices? I think Immutable will be big long term. I don't see that as being a huge catalyst. I think exchanges matter more for price. I think 3 to 5 exchanges, especially if they're good exchanges. Like I said, I want it to be Coinbase. I really do. I love Coinbase. I think that will have the biggest driver in price. I've talked about this before, but being listed on Binance, Coinbase has been associated with a 80 to 100% increase in price. Now, whether it stays there is kind of subject to debate, but that's what we need, an 80 to 100 bump in price. Probably when they announce it, you'll see this huge bump. And then probably when it's on the exchanges, you'll see a little bit more of a bump, depending on where we are in terms of VV marketing. And then there might be a little bit of a sell-off there. So it's hard to really say there. I think that's going to be the biggest impact. The gem to fiat thing, that matters more for flippers, I think. But I think that will be a moot point once you can buy and sell with OMI. I think traders or flippers will just try to cash out with OMI, I think. Ben, is he the tokenomics developer? I assumed he was given a big bag, big enough to manipulate. Yeah, that's what a lot of the influencers think. He definitely played a huge role, if not if not being responsible for the whole thing in developing the tokenomics. I'm sure he got a big bag for his efforts, and he also was a recipient of a settled lawsuit with Ecomi. So I'm sure he got something out of that too. I guess it could be, Ben. I don't really think we have enough. We have a lot of circumstantial evidence, but we don't have a lot of direct evidence tying that to him. There's a lot of whispers that it's him among some of the whales, but we don't know for sure. So I think it's fine to assume it's just him. I mean, just know that there's big whales out there. I think that's the important thing. First, okay, Rob. How much is OMI worth to the US dollar? Right now it's trading at 0.0024 cents. So hope that answers your question there. French, whales have been manipulating the price of Chainlink for years and nobody ever talks about it. Also XRP, it is happening with a lot of tokens. Yeah, I think this past decade or so, 5-10 years or so, we've seen a lot of people who made a lot of money holding these tokens that mooned. And I think what better way to get a bigger bag but by manipulating the price? I think there's people always manipulating prices, whether you see that in the commodities market or the stock exchange. I think there's always going to be big whales manipulating the price. I think it matters more to OMI because it has a bigger impact. Maybe we don't see it with stocks that much, but we definitely see it with OMI. Alfie says, can you tell Champ to do an OMI TA with a shirt on, please? Yeah, you got to be pretty confident to do a TA without your shirt on, but that's his channel. I mean, I guess he could do what he wants, but I prefer to have my shirt on. I'll just say that. You are one of the people who steals money from old people. I don't know what you're talking about there. Why are you scamming the people? Not really scamming anyone. Maybe that's in reference to someone else. I don't know. What 3 coins would be good to put $1,000 into this week? I really can't answer that, man. That's like kind of financial advice territory. I can just say what I am in right now. And actually what I'm interested in. I'll also say what I'm interested in. I'm in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Lumens, OMI. But I am watching Internet Computer ICP. I think that could be a really interesting token. The one thing I don't like about it is it's inflationary in nature. I like these deflationary currencies. Liam, cheers, man. Long term. Yeah, man, you say it. Preach, brother. What's your cost basis for OMI? I don't know the exact number, which is kind of sad, actually, but I think it's 0.004 because I got into it after Andre Jick did his famous video on OMI, and I spent about a week or two trying to figure out how I wanted to buy it. Realized it was kind of confusing, but I think I got in right around, and I used my Ethereum to buy this. I think I bought it at 0.0078. I did a couple trades around that level. And then I stopped for a long time because the price was just dropping and I wasn't confident anymore until my confidence really came back when the Marvel news was released, and I've started doing trades since then. So thank you for the donation, my friend. I appreciate that. Did you buy any VV NFTs? If so, which one is your favorite? Yeah, my first one I bought was Marty's hoverboard, and I really like that. I think it's really cool. I also bought Ecto, the rare and common, more as an investment. And that's how I realized I'm not a very good flipper, because that's really gone nowhere in price. So, but I like it. So I'm actually cool with that. I might try to get rid of the common eventually, but for now it's fine. That's a big question, man. Home Dog, how do you see the token migration playing out? Well, man, It's hard to say. I think if we follow the timeline, I think they're going to announce Immutable sometime in August, probably late August, maybe early September. And then they're probably going to release a lot of information on how to transfer or migrate over your tokens. I think there's going to be some scamsters out there trying to take advantage of people. So I think that's going to create some FUD. But I think if Comey does a good job, I think it'll be very clear how to migrate over the tokens. I think we're going to see some price fluctuations with that because of the uncertainty. I think some people are just not going to migrate over. I think there was a statistic that said like 20% of Bitcoin is actually like lost. It's kind of locked away. And I don't know if you know that story of someone who threw away their hard drive with like millions of dollars worth of tokens. And some private investors tried to get with him to convince the city to really try to hone in on where that hard drive could be in the dump and actually try to excavate it, which I think they turned them down because of sanitary reasons. Probably is just, that doesn't sound safe to me. But for that reason, 20% of Bitcoin is locked away somewhere. And I think the same could happen. I think a lot of people will continue to buy GoChain. There might be some opportunities to actually buy OMI GoChain tokens cheaper, migrate them over, and maybe make a profit there. I think because of the inefficiency and the confusion, I think that can happen. This is all speculation too, by the way. Long term, though, I think it's important because I think it's going to eventually create a scenario where OMI token goes up in price. Lilo, you are not being very nice, man. Bitcoin is crap. I think, well, I'm a big proponent of free speech. So even though I could probably just hide you and block you, I'll just leave it there because I think it's good entertainment. Liam Watson, what are your thoughts on 1, price dumps as MTL approaches, 2, price dumps as Master Collector is announced, if people don't think it's enough incentive to hold sets? It's a good question. I haven't really thought about that. I guess I don't see MTL as I don't see it as something that's going to dump the price. I haven't thought about it too much, though. Let me think about it some more. Price dumps as Master Collector is announced. I don't think people will dump. I think Master Collector will be really cool, actually. I think it'll be cool. We'll see, man. Yoshlab. Hi, Daniel. If the NFT assets aren't able to exit Vivi, wouldn't that render those NFTs similar to gem assets? To game assets? Sorry. Yeah. I mean, it's going to decrease the price. I think NFTs should be designed to be interoperable, right? And I think they will be because there are some talks about the VV digital frames where you can maybe buy a frame and kind of showcase your collectible. I mean, when you think about it, how is it leaving VV to go on there? I mean, is it associated with the app? I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah, if they're closed source, it does. Yeah, it essentially is, right? It is. It's just a game asset. It's kind of like buying. I don't know if you know of Counter-Strike, that game where you can buy skins. I mean, people still buy them though. They still have value. So it essentially does become a game asset. You're right. What do you think is going to be the big reveal next week with VV since no drops this Thursday? I don't know. Good question. I really would like to see Star Trek sooner or later. I'm a big fan. That's one thing I'm waiting for sure. I'm hoping it's something big, but what I have learned is you can't predict what the next drop will be because they've continually surprised us. It's been underwhelming at times. It's been amazing at times. So it's hard to say. Hey, Cart. People troll me so much. 60-year prediction. I don't think VV will be around in 60 years. I think they'll be bought or it'll be something completely different from what it looks like today. Thanks, man. 60-year price prediction. Actually, what I want to hear is, what are your 60-year price predictions? King Teak, hey man, good to see you. Hi Dan, love the vids. You've grown big time. I don't know if I would say it's big time. I mean, it's right now I have 2,730 subscribers. I've definitely grown pretty quickly, but it is slowly starting to slow down. But I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for all your support, man. I really appreciate you. Are you still putting out Call of Duty type content? Do you know if as a programmer, will you be able to code parts of the VVverse? I'm not a programmer, and I don't think so. I think they'll keep that pretty centralized. The reason I think that is you have these licensors and these licenses. They don't want people messing around with them too much. I mean, even when I think about like, what if VVverse was like Minecraft and you can build stuff? I'm not even sure licensors would want people building ridiculous or not safe for work things and having that associated with their collectibles. I just don't think they will do that. I think they'll have things like buildings for sale, prefab things you can buy. I think that's the way they're going to go. I don't think it'll be codable at all. John Doe says, have you ever had a patient recognize you from your YouTube videos and then ask either for a picture or autograph or something? No, I mean, I'm not that famous. You know, when you think about it, 2,700 subscribers, you know, a couple thousand views per video, that's not enough to gain that, that sort of appeal or recognition, so to speak. So no, not really. Yes, with the hat. Okay. Yeah, that's Dirty Dan. Sometimes I forget my characters there. I'm going to kind of skim through here. I don't want to keep the stream too long, but let's skim through some questions here. If I can guess your middle name, will you give me 1 million OMI? I might give you some OMI. I might donate to one of your next streams, man, if you get it right. Put it down below, man. Hodl Yoda, how bullish are you after Comic-Con? Yeah, I don't think Comic-Con was somewhat of a flop. I don't think it was their fault. I don't think it's too big of a deal. I think it could have been a great catalyst, but I don't think it's a big deal. You know, it would have been better if we could actually have live Comic-Con and they were there. You know, and that still might happen in November. You know, they're having a potentially live event. It's probably not going to happen with the way the whole illness situation is looking, but it's at least scheduled. I don't think it's going to happen. Just from what I do in my work and seeing the cases, it's probably not going to happen. But you never know. Did we get Comic-Con NDA? Do you agree with my assessment of blaming Cavell for? I don't blame Cavell for anything. He just does his thing. He speaks his opinion. It's not his fault that people do things with the way he presents things. I mean, part of it too is clickbait and clickbait titles. It's what drives views. And I know YouTube for him is a business. So he's a businessman. I mean, the news media does that to us all the time. They clickbait us all the time. So I think it's just part of the YouTube business thing. I don't blame him for anything. Yeah, actually, I was thinking that I saw the recent trailer for Afterlife, and I actually wondered about that, but I didn't check the price. I don't check the prices too much. Last time I checked, it was basically trading at cost. So it'd be nice if it went up in price. Maybe hold off till the movie, and then when the movie comes out, then sell or something. I don't know. Time lag between exchange listings. I need to save my voice a little bit. Let me drink some more water. I think a couple months. I think we'll see exchanges. This is just my guess, but October, November. That's my time frame. But they might surprise us. You know, they might say, "Hey, look, Immutable migration. Also, by the way, get these ERC20 tokens on these exchanges. They could do something like that. Yeah, like I said before, I don't really answer those types of questions just yet because I'm worried about security. I will eventually, once I'm pretty certain that my security situation is under control. Be careful with those super chats speaking on other projects. Yeah, I mean, I get that people do that, but I'm gonna address all the super chats though because I feel bad if they spend money and I don't address it. I'm at least gonna talk about it a little bit, but you're right. I should be careful. I'm gonna try to save my voice here, but I'll read the question. I'll answer the question. No, Cart, I don't think Hikomi, I don't think the team is playing us. I understand why someone would come to that conclusion, but they really have no control over the circulating supply. I mean, it's the free market. The only thing they can control is their business, and their business is doing well. And I don't think they're playing us. And I know that basically from all the licenses, especially the Marvel announcement, that was big for me. Marvel is not going to be associated with the scam token. So I don't think it's a rug pull or they're playing us or anything like that. Have you heard or seen anything out of Rogers and Cohen, or do you know if they're working on any kind of marketing campaign? So they don't do marketing; they do public relations. So think like press releases. And if you've seen my Twitter, I'm on my Twitter handle is AsianDan1, AsianDan1, and I retweeted something. It was basically a Forbes article that talked about Marvel. VV, things like that. That's something a public relations firm would do. So marketing and public relations are two different things. So I think that Forbes article was probably a sponsored or paid article, but to me, it smells like public relations. So I think it's probably from Rogers and Cohen. Which country am I in? United States of America. Upgraded graphics. They're using the Unity engine, which is really, really cool and is capable of a lot of things. So I definitely think when we get the VVverse, it's going to be comparable to what we see going forward. Maybe limited in functionality, but in terms of graphics, I think it's what we're going to see on, like we saw in the showrooms. It's going to be that quality, which I thought was pretty good. Oh, hello, Kay. When next that and balls pattern? I don't know if I told you, but there was someone on their comments was, I don't know if they're trolling me or not, but they said that, oh, my granddaughter was watching your video and she saw that, shame on you, basically. And I felt kind of bad, actually, and I want to tone that kind of stuff down. I want to keep that really PG. I don't make my videos aren't made for kids, but I should at least try my best to keep it clean. Kind of like you, Kay. You have kind of a clean image there, don't you? I've heard that Jake G talks about it, but I don't think I do love Yoshi. I do love Yoshi's a lot. So I might look more into it, but I don't think of it at all, really. Maybe I'll look into it. Yeah, Rudin, I think, did a great service to us. He really did explain the tokenomics pretty well. And I do like his videos. He hasn't put anything out in a while, though, so he still did his part. I think he did a really good job. Hello, Kay, trolling me. Hey, Kay, thanks for the was it £2? Is that pounds or it's pounds? Hi, guys, I'm Daniel Lee. What is that? Eggplant, basketball, soccer ball. When is that and balls? Okay. No, hey, Poor man, thanks for the $2 there. I really appreciate it. All of my donations, all my ad revenue goes towards making the channel better. It doesn't go in my pocket. I don't use it for any other purpose except really increasing the quality of the stream. Actually, I got this fancy light here. You probably can't tell, but I have two of these key light type things from the ad revenue there. So I'm probably going to get maybe a better camera. I am working on my backdrop. I feel like it's a little lacking. It's better than what it was, but it could always be better. Yeah, it is, Crystal. It's kind of a power couple there. We're really happy to be where we're at. Very blessed to do some rewarding work. Healthcare can be a great career. It's kind of draining at times, but I think I would make the same decision. That 1,000-year prediction. Oh gosh, you guys are trolling me so bad. Where is David's mom when you need her? I like David's mom a lot. Where's David, for that matter? He's actually kind of a nice guy, David Rosen. I know a lot of his comments are kind of a little trolly, but I think some of it's for fun, some of it is frustration. He did put a lot of money supposedly into the token, so I kind of get that. Do you think OMI will start creating play and earn like other NFT games that's blowing up? That's a good Hello K question. I wonder what Hello K would think about that, but I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I think it's easy to say, yes, they could do that. It's a kind of a no-brainer to copy that, but I don't know if there's any legal or financial ramifications. Man, I need to shave. At work, we wear these masks, to protect the patients. So I don't shave as much because I can just wear a mask, but I'm just lazy. It may be like Chinese yuan. Like that might be the currency of the future, digital yuan. Can you explain the Master Collector program? Yeah, the thought is maybe you use your OMI to buy a Master Collector level, or maybe you stake it, or maybe you do activities on the VV app that increases your Master Collector level. And with that comes rewards, usually related to the VV app, whether that's potentially being able to get in on a drop early or exclusive drops. We don't really know a whole lot. It's a lot of speculation. If VV gets sold, do you think there's a chance that new owners may want to disassociate VV from the OMI token? I don't think they'll get sold. Even if they do get sold, I think they'll still maintain all the trademarks. They can always disassociate from the OMI token. And if that happened, there would have to be a really big reason, because if you deviate once in terms of tokenomics, that means you can deviate again in the future. That happens. I mean, it could drop price just depending on the context of that. Bubba, what got you into crypto in the first place? I got into crypto in 2013. I was really infatuated with Bitcoin and what it could represent. This was back in the Mt. Gox days. You had to send your fiat by electronic wire to their account in Japan, to a bank in Japan, and that's how you bought Bitcoin. I used to have a lot of Bitcoin, and my story is that I was poor back then. I was a college student. I just got out of the army. I was trying to do a new career. I was getting into my healthcare training, my nursing training. And because of that, I couldn't stand the swings, and I sold. I paper-handed. In one sense, that was a blessing because Mt. Gox got hacked, and I probably would have lost all my Bitcoin. But I bought and sold sporadically over the course of several years, not really making too much of a profit, just doing a lot of buying and selling, maybe some money here, some money there, not a lot of money. And that's how I got into crypto. And I've been in it since 2013. So when I say that I'm not worried about OMI, excuse me, you guys should maybe take that in consideration. I've seen a lot, actually. I've been tracking it for a long time, crypto in general. And these swings, I don't think they're anything. I think Bitcoin was way worse back in the day. I mean, there was so much FUD back in the day. And now we know, we're a little bit wiser now. With China FUD, we can say, oh, that's China FUD. But back then when it was happening, it was like a big deal. Exchanges getting hacked left and right, rug pulls. I mean, it was unsafe. It was the wild, wild west. Now exchanges are a lot safer. I don't think Coinbase has ever been hacked. A lot of the big exchanges, I don't think, have been hacked, but it used to be way more dangerous back in the day. Oh, my wife is here. 1 second. Oh, sorry about that. I like Poor Man Printing as well. I think he's a fun guy. I actually like his content a lot. I haven't seen his videos in a while, actually. I think he was on vacation or something. But shout out to Poor Man Printing. Love his content as well. He just says what he wants to say, and I appreciate someone like that who's very straightforward. We are in an international community. How can we spread the word about VV in our country? I don't know what country you're in, but I think YouTube is a great platform to get your voice out. And the thing about, I actually recommend, if any of you guys have wanted to do a YouTube channel, just start it, man. I mean, I started in late April. Thank you. It's good to have a loving wife there. But I started in late April of 2021, and because and it wasn't because my quality was good or anything like that. I mean, the algorithm just picked me up because a lot of people are interested in VV. So I have noticed that if you start a VV channel, you can get a lot of traffic, a lot of subscribers pretty quickly. So I think that's the best way to get the word out. I think everyone should have a YouTube channel, even if it's only a couple hundred subscribers or even less. It just gives you a platform to talk about things you want to talk about. And, potentially you can blow up big and get a little bit of side income from it. And it really teaches you a lot of skills. I recommend everyone start a YouTube channel. I hate, we all like cannibalize each other's streams. We all like see it and are interested, and we pop in and stuff like that. Mark says, I could see OMI taking over Theta this year. Okay, I kind of lost my place here. Let's see. Facebook is building their own metaverse. I could see VV selling to them if they get a good enough deal. I mean, any startup loves to get bought out. So, and honestly, Facebook has a track record of doing that, but I think just because VV does a metaverse doesn't mean that's something Facebook would want to get into, right? It's kind of almost a separate business model. It's a digital collectible app that has a metaverse. So I think there's a difference there. So I don't see them buying that out necessarily. OMI to the moon? Yep. All right, guys. Hey, it's been about an hour and 15 minutes. I've had a great time. I don't see any other questions, but if you want to put in a last minute question, I wouldn't mind answering it for you. There we go. We got one here from Water. Constant dilemma, more OMI or gems swinging towards OMI this week due to price. What do you mean in terms of gems? Like, I kind of don't understand that. Like buying gems to buy collectibles, or, oh, that's probably what you mean, right? How many OMI would it take to convince your wife to replace you on your next? I don't know if, would you guys want to see my wife? I don't know. I don't know if she would be shy or something, but I mean, hell, man, I would even take 100,000 OMI for her to replace me. I'm cheap. 3 million OMI now, average cost 0.0033. That's pretty good. Dollar cost averaging until I have at least 10 million. Is there any way you don't see OMI at least a penny this year? Privately, I say that I think I would be shocked if we didn't hit at least a penny. Something bad has to happen, right? The reason I say that is it's been there before, 1 cent. So it's feasible we would be back there. To get back there from right now, we're at the 0.002425 level. I mean, we would just have to, like 3x, right? To get to a cent. So that's not hard. As long as a few things need to happen, we need to have a good migration. We need to hit on some of the things VV told us was going to happen. And it would be nice if Bitcoin was also going towards 60K again. The economy, it'd be nice if the economy was doing well. That's kind of iffy from what I told you guys before from my healthcare experience. But I would be, I don't know, I would be shocked if it wasn't 1 cent, to be honest. Please explain the OMI burn rate. I hear it's only, it's a big topic, man. My voice is fading here. So there's a primary market. Every purchase burns OMI in the Vault wallet, which is billions of OMI. There's also burns associated with that. It's 10%, practically 7% with the current App Store fees. So it's definitely more than that. Now on the secondary market, as in I buy a collectible, I sell it to Joe Schmo over there. I think the burn rate is still 100%, I believe, with 2.5% being bought back. I think I need to reread that there. Kind of forgot there. What about Facebook buying Earth 2? Are they? I'm not an Earth 2 guy. I don't really know much about that. That's more Randy Chavez's territory. I mean, I can have, if you guys want to see her, I don't mind putting her out there. I think she's interested, but she leaves me to my hobbies, you know. Thanks for the stream. Love watching you, Cavell, Jake Taps, and all of you, OMI Bulls. Hey, I think we'll conclude here. Let me just hit on this. Thoughts on the immutable token. Not many thoughts. I think the migration might be confusing. We'll see, though. I guess that's my thought. All right, guys. Hey, I really appreciate you. I had a really good time. It was a good hour spent. I'm actually shocked at the turnout. But I appreciate you guys. We'll probably have another stream somewhere down the line. Stay safe. Don't let the price scare you. I think we should continue to dollar cost average, not financial advice. And we'll see you in the next one, okay? Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.